Hello, everybody. Coming at you live from Live Your Dreams. Good afternoon. It's a beautiful sunny day out there. And today I am streaming live on Facebook and live on YouTube. Very exciting stuff. I hope everything's going well because this is my first time ever. Um, And so if you're not able to catch me on uh, Facebook now, you can catch me on YouTube for all you YouTubers. I am very excited about this because this is awesome. Like this is what you call growth. And I am really big into growth and transformation. So I expect it from myself as well. So, anyways, how are you guys doing? How's life treating you? How are you spending your Saturday afternoon? Write it in the chat, okay? And as always, I want to remind you to type in #replay, if you're watching this after the fact. But if you're here today, please join the conversation. Let me know you're here. And I'm so glad that you did join us because this is just awesome. So one thing that I I noticed is that I just need to I have certain things in the studio that are not supposed to be in the studio. I really didn't have time to remove certain aspects because it's my first time trying to do this. So just bear with me as I perfect all of this. So I think this is a good segue to talk about how uh, when we are going through transformations, when we are learning new things or trying to change certain things in our lives, it takes multiple iterations before we get it just right. And for those of you in IT, like I am, you understand the agile world, and you understand what it talks about. What I'm saying when I'm talking about iterations. Okay, so you have, instead of trying to do it like an end-to-end development, we're doing it in small little um, iterations. We're doing it multiple times. We're doing it in time frames. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go from Monday to Friday, and maybe test on a Saturday, and then test again on a Sunday, or do a little bit more development and test again on a Tuesday. Okay, until we get it just right. Right. So sometimes you have to go through all of these little iterations before you get it right. That's just how life is. And people are afraid of doing that. So they don't try, they just give up. And so I'm encouraging you to it's okay not to be perfect your first time. I think that's what will take away some of your fear of trying to do things. It's just that get out there and just get it done. Get out there and just try your best and see where it goes. Right. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do today, just like I'm doing with this. It's not going to be perfect the first time. It's not, by all means, it's going to have its little, the bells and whistles may not be there, but I did it. And that's the exciting part. And I'm celebrating today. And you all know that I am big on celebration. I believe that if you do something, and it's something that you've been trying to do for a while, and you've been putting it off, and you finally get it done, you should celebrate. Okay, if you're working on a project, or you're working on some things in your life, you're trying to accomplish something, and you take the first step, you celebrate the first step. Then after that, you take the second step, you celebrate the second step. Every little milestone that you hit, yay, you do a little happy dance. You're like, I did it. It's exciting to move forward. We don't celebrate as much as we should. So, for instance, okay, you're you're trying to take off some weight, and you're it's been 3 weeks, and you're getting on the scale, which I don't believe in, because it's not really a good indication of whether or not your body's changing, right? But let's just say you do, and you're not seeing the marker move. So you're getting really anxious, and you're thinking, why am I doing all this? I I'm not getting anywhere, right? But the thing is, it takes time to see the complete transformation in your body. Uh, you know that there are certain changes happening in your body that you're not noticing. And so, because you're guaranteed, if you change your eating habits, or you start a new exercise, or you start exercising more vigorously, you are doing something, you're accomplishing something. There's no way that you have changed your routine, or done changed your intensity of your workout, and nothing's happening. It's impossible that you were eating certain foods, and then you started to eat something more healthy. Maybe you're eating unhealthy, now you're eating healthy. It's impossible that you're not doing something, that your body is not recognizing that change, and improving in some way. It's just that you're not seeing it yet. It's perfectly normal. Now, people get you know all depressed and whatnot, and they just want to give up, because wow, my scale, they're so fixated on the scale. And they don't realize certain things, like you're getting up the stairs faster, you're getting out of bed easier, less pains in the morning. um, you have more stamina, you can go longer, you can um, your focus is better. All of these different things you're not noticing, because you're so fixated on a scale, right? And so you miss your small celebrations. I am encouraging you to focus on everything that's going on with you, and just not get fixated on one thing. And that goes for everything in your life, every change in your life. If you started a new job, and the first week is very difficult, and you're like, I'm just not getting this, I'm just don't understand it. But why don't you start focusing on the things you are getting? You didn't know how to log into your PC the first day. Now you're logging in, no problem. You have your your password memorized. The next time, the next week, you not only are you logging in, but you know where everything is. You know where to find a lot of things. And by the next week, you know how to log in. You know how to find stuff. You have people that you can contact. A whole list of people you can contact. You have your desk organized, and you have stuff in your calendar by now. So all your meetings are set up, and you've already started trying to plan things out. Like, you're making progress. It's okay to make progress in iterations. Okay, it's okay. So take the pressure off yourself. Okay, and just at the end of each little accomplishment, just say, wow, okay, I've come this far. I've made it this far. I am really making headway. You don't have to wait until the end. You don't have to. And that'll make you feel so much better. It'll bring a joy to your life. And you won't be focused so much on the stuff that you're not getting done, or you're not doing, or you're not accomplishing. Get your eyes off of that and focus on the wins. Okay? So today we're talking about being in the concrete jungle. Okay, we're talking about how do you live? How do you survive the concrete jungle? How do you find peace in this concrete jungle? Where do you find peace? We know what we're talking about when you live in a city, and especially like I work downtown, and I had to drive, park at the GO station for people that are in Toronto. You understand what I'm talking about? And get on the GO train and travel downtown, like take a half an hour trip on the GO train downtown. And within that half an hour, I would sleep. I would play crossword puzzles, read a book, whatever, because it wasn't a short trip. And I'd be rushing every morning. I'd get up every morning, um, because I lived on the outskirts. I lived about um, 20 or 25 minutes from the nearest GO train station. So I would get up in the morning, and and I had to be downtown by 8:30. And I had a whole bunch of things that I had to do. I had kids and stuff. So I'd get up in the morning, I would get ready, and then make a quick breakfast or whatever, and I'd rush into my car, and then I'd rush to the GO train station, and then I'd get out, and then I see my train coming, and then I'd run to the train, and then I'd rush. I try to find a door where I know that you've memorized where the door is going to be, so you try to find a door so you can get in fast, so you can get a seat because you don't want to stand up for half an hour. And that was my routine every morning, and it was a lot of rush, 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 rush. I'd always get up late. I have to be downtown for 8:30, so I have to be there by 8:30. I need to walk in by 8:15 so I can get myself together. So um, I have to be at the GO train station when the GO train's coming. I need a 6:45 or a 7 or 7:15. So that means I have to get up at 6 or something like that. Then sometimes I'd sleep in, and I'd be rushing around, and it was hectic all the time. Then you get downtown, and then you have this big crowd of people around you, like thousands of people just pouring out of the train, and you're trying to get up the stairs or get on the elevator, and you got to wait, and you're stuck behind people, and you're looking at your clock, and you're like, get out of my way, I want to go through, and you're trying to push your way through the crowd, and then you get jammed up at the door, and you're thinking to yourself, if there's a fire or if there's some disaster inside of this GO train station, ho 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 ho, you're going to be trampled, you're going to be trapped. There's no way you're not being crushed. The it's just, you all know what I'm saying. Like, I think every modern day city is probably the same. It may not be the GO train station, but it's some kind of a subway, right? And you're just being crushed on every side by just the sheer weight, sheer mass of of people. And so you're pushing your way through, and then you finally, you get to the door, you get out, and you smell the fresh air. You're like, oh my god, finally. And now, like, it's all like all this sea of people just pour out into the streets now. And so you're still in a crowd, and you're trying to make your way through the crowd to walk now. Okay, so half an hour or so to work, to the GO station, then half an hour on the train. Now you still got to walk 10 or 15 minutes depending on how far away it is from the GO train station, right? And so you're trying to walk to get there, you're hustling, you're running, you're wearing your nice suit, or you're wearing, in the case of the men, in a more formal, those that work in a more formal setting. Okay, you're wearing your nice suit, or you're wearing your semi-formal business wear of some sort, and you're trying not to, you hope you're not getting too sweaty, because when you get there, uh, you have a meeting first thing in the morning, and the director is going to be there, and some of the senior management is going to be there, and you're like, oh Lord, and you're presenting. So this is beautiful, and so you're trying to get by. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta get to my desk. I gotta get myself ready because I gotta just review my speech, my presentation one more time before I get there. And then you get to work, and then you hustle upstairs. Now there's another problem because the building has a lot of people, so you're like trying to get on the you're trying to get on the elevator to get to your floor. Now you could walk up, but if you're on like the 8th or 9th floor, by the time you walk up, it's maybe you're fit enough to do it, but you get upstairs, you're all sweaty and whatever. So you're like, no, you can't walk up. But in some cases, like if I'm, like at one point I worked on the 2nd floor, I would just take the stairs because trying to get on that elevator is ridiculous. I have to wait for like 4 elevators to come before I can get on to get up the stairs. To tell you, how many people was in this building downtown that I worked at, they had one of the concierge as working as a elevator attendant, trying to direct traffic and telling people, okay, get in this elevator, get into that elevator. Okay, can you wait a minute? You're like just trying to control the crowd so people are not pushing. And I'm sure they've had instances of people just getting into tussles because they're trying to, like, I gotta get upstairs, like, get out of my way, I got a meeting, and so finally you're upstairs, you're at your desk, you sit down for just 2 seconds, you're like, oh my God, you get your coat off. My goodness, if it's winter, Lord, you gotta get boots off, gotta get coat off, take all that stuff. Then you get your laptop out and you open up your laptop. It's like, why is my laptop not? Why is it not? Why is it not coming up? What's going on? My laptop. Oh, damn it! I didn't plug it in. It's dead. I need to plug it in. The battery needs charging. Okay, yeah, okay. So you plug it in and stuff, and then you turn it on and it's coming up. You're like, oh my God, why isn't this thing coming up? And then it doesn't update. And you're sitting there going, what am I going to do? You have 10 minutes now and the clock is just ticking. You're like, okay, let me just collect my thoughts. And while this thing is trying to come up, let me just, if I can visualize what I have to say today and what I have to do, maybe check some other things. I've got some paper that I printed out here to hand out. Let me make sure that I have, enough copies, Oh, I'm missing a copy. Let me go make a copy. You go make a copy, you come back, computer's up, you get in, okay, you bring it up, and you're looking at, you're saying, okay, no. You look at your watch, oh God, 2 minutes. No. Oh, okay, I'm good. Okay, then I gotta go because if I'm late, oh my Lord, I'm going to hear about it after, and I'm going to be called into the office later and say, you can't be late for meetings anymore. You're going to be, you're going to do it, and then they're going to nag you. And you're like, no, I don't want this morning. So you close up everything, you're rushed to the, into the boardroom, and you start hooking everything up. You turn it on, and oh my God, it's not working. I don't understand what's going on with the projector. Oh, it's blinking. Okay, let me reset it. He's reset the, and you're trying to get it all good and ready so that when all the top brass walk in, you're ready to go and you look collected and professional. And you're trying to, then you're saying, okay, oh please God. Now, if you believe in God, or some people, even if they don't serve him, like you're not a Christian, you begin to pray. It's funny how, suddenly you begin to pray and you seek a source that is higher than yourself when you're in a bind. You're like, oh God, please God, please let it work, please, come on God, come on, you can do it God, you can do it. You become God's cheerleader. Come on, you can do it. Go, God. Go, God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the bottom of the seventh. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. You can do it. Yeah, make that home run. And then whoop, it goes on and it's on the screen and you're like, oh, thank God. And then people start to walk in, you're like, oh no, okay, let me sit down, let me relax, let me get my thoughts together. You're there, you open things up, you're testing things, and you're like, thank goodness. Then you open up the first slide, and right there on the first slide, you have a big, huge mistake. Like today, I have I don't have everything ready in the studio. There's some things on the studio that's not supposed to be there. And I just went live. So I'm thinking, um, yeah, I can't fix it right now. I can't say, okay, guys, can you just hold on a minute while I just do this little thing here? Don't worry, I'll be right back. Hey, talk amongst yourself, sing a song, you know, chat. I'm just gonna, like, I'll be a minute, right? And then you look at me for 5 minutes or so trying to fix up the studio and we're live. That is ridiculous, right? So the same thing goes. You're sitting there and everybody's staring at you like, I can't fix this. Man, this slide is wrong. It's not the right slide. Oh my God. What am I gonna do? Yeah, I gotta wing it. Gotta think on my feet. You start to sweat. You're like, oh, maybe if I'm very animated, they won't notice. Maybe if I force them to look at me, they won't notice that there's not the right slide, right? You've been there. Come on. This is like the worst day ever. Okay, so I painted all that to let you know this is the concrete jungle. This is the jungle, y'all. This is what happens when you live in a big city and you work for like a big corporation. You work for corporate downtown or something. The highlight, this is what you've always wanted. This is what you dreamed of, right? Come on. Is it what you dreamed of? If I told you right now, I'm going to give you like $4 million, would you get on the train and go through all that you go through and go downtown and be in that meeting with the wrong slide? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You all had hopes and dreams. You've all had things that you wanted to do, wanted to try. Some of you all wanted to travel. Some of you, you wanted to become astronauts, or that is that's was your when you were young and you didn't understand what it was to be an astronaut. Then you realize, oh, that means I actually have to go into space, and I don't like heights very much less going into space. But you were open then, and you didn't have all the restrictions and limitations on yourself, so you had huge dreams, massive, overwhelming dreams. And I know that as you're sitting there and looking at that presentation, it's nowhere close to what you were dreaming of, not even in the vicinity. Now, there's some strange people out there that whose big dreams was to be in corporate. I remember teaching a little girl once, and I asked her, I said, so what are you going to be when you grow up? And she goes, I'm going to be a CEO. I'm like, okay, right? I'm going to be a CEO of a big corporation. I'm like, oh, her parents were CEOs. So that's what she's going to be, right? So maybe you're one of those. So you're in your happy place right now looking at this presentation, because even though it's the wrong slide, you're right where you want to be. And that's okay too. That's okay. There's some crazy people out there, right? um, I'm talking about myself. That's what I dreamed, to be this big project manager working for this big firm, running these huge projects. And That's where I thought I wanted to be at that, and but at that moment, it was very sobering. It was a very sobering experience when things don't go right, when things are not working out, when I'm being called into office to be told that you can't be 2 minutes late for the meeting. You got to be sitting there at least 5 or 10 minutes before. You know, um, if you're 10 minutes, if you're on time, you're late. Just think of it that way, Shellyanne. If you're on time, you're late, right? And stuff like that. And you got to show up. Got to be a rock star. Do you want to be a rock star, Shellyanne? No, you gotta show up. And I'm like, yep. hmm I showed up all right. Do you know what it took for me to get here this morning? Do you know the sheer agony? Do you know what I went through? My heart is still racing so fast right now. I think I'm going to have a heart attack. You know, my stress level is going through the roof. You're sitting here chewing me out about being 2 minutes late. Um, I haven't eaten my lunch yet. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I barely got through my breakfast. And whatever coffee I put down in my stomach is churning right now. Don't mess with me. I might just lose all my stuff on you. It might all just come up because my stomach is just churning. You are just, you are not helping me get to my happy place right now. You're really raining on my parade. I came in this morning hoping that it would be a good day. And it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're chewing me out. Thank you so much. This is what I dreamed of, right? This is what I dreamed of. Some of you are there. You know what it is, the stress, the sheer agony, the anxiety. When you go to bed at night, you can't sleep, the anxiety because you're trying to survive in the concrete jungle. You're trying to fight with the elements, and lions and tigers are trying to eat you alive. It's just not right. And you thrive on some of it, like, a little bit of adrenaline is great, and it's normal. It spurs you into action. That rush, that adrenaline rush, that fight or flight experience that you go into, it's exhilarating when those chemicals kick in, and you feel that rush going through your body, and it propels you forward, and you just gotta move. You gotta purpose, gotta move with purpose, gotta focus, gotta get things done. And so a little bit of it is awesome, but a lot of it all day long, even when you don't need it. We talked about that. My goodness, you're so stressed out. You're up, like you're stressing out over even what to eat. This is ridiculous. Well, if I go to Cornelius down, just down the street, I'm gonna have to walk. It's gonna take me 15 minutes to walk, and I gotta get back because I want to eat my lunch fast because I gotta get through, this paperwork. Or I gotta get the reports out. If you're in project management, IT project management like me, you got to get the reports out. Okay, you need upper management to have the reports in their hands so they can have status update on all the projects. You got your weekly status update reports to get out. You got to get it out. Okay, and in some projects you're working out, you've got daily updates to do. You've got to update your project plan because you need you need to know where the project's at so that you can update your status report. Um, you need to figure out, you're going to make some decisions. So you've got to update your project plan. You got to read over or get you've got some feasibility reports that you're working on. You got to get those done. You've got some change requests come through that you got to go over, because you got to send out your change requests forms to the right person, for people to get sign off on certain changes, or you need to put it on your meeting agenda. So you got to do your agenda, because first thing in the morning you're meeting with another group of people, and there's going to be people on there in that meeting that are going to make some decisions. So you need to get that on your agenda, or whatever. You need to organize yourself. You need to be always prepared and organizing, and you got a lot of mm, pieces moving. So walking down the street to go get your lunch, a nice leisurely walk down the street to go get your lunch, may not be in the cards for you today. But you really want to, because you got to get out of this office. The walls are closing in on you. You want to get out to go get that lunch. The stress of that whole thing, the anxiety, it's horrible. It's a horrible, horrible feeling. And then you start asking yourself, is this really what I want to do for the rest of my life? I thought I loved this. But the reality of where I am and what I'm doing is just not making me feel too good about life or who I am anymore. And so this is it. This is your situation. Hey, if you have experienced that at least once in your life, I want you to write stress. Okay, just write stress in the comments. If you have been there, and at least once in your life, just write stress in the comments. Okay, um, because I I know that if you're working downtown, and if you're working for a big corporation, and even if you're not a project manager, and even if you're not in IT, where you have projects up the wazoo, like there's projects going on constantly. There's always a new project, right? Small ones and there are big ones. You know, um, let's change all of um, the the Microsoft versions of the software, the Microsoft software, all the versions. Let's go to the next level. Let's change the versions of Microsoft software in the finance department. Let's just do that. There's 100 people there, but they're on a later version of Microsoft. Let's just upgrade all of the PCs with the new version. So let's figure out how we're going to do that. Okay, let's do that. I want this done by next week, because um, it's not good that they're behind so far. We need to push out those updates. So that's a small little project. You know, let's update the server. Let's update the Microsoft platform. Let's go to the next level of server software. Let's do it. So now, and there's maybe 20 divisions across 10 different countries or something. Okay, let's do that. Okay, well, they're all in, at different levels. Some people have this level, some people have that level. It's just all over the place, all over the map. Let's just figure out how we're going to get it all done, and we want it done all in one weekend. Got to bring down all the systems in one weekend and bring them all back up again by Monday morning. I want everything back online and everybody ready to go. Like, it's always something going on. Or if there's developers, if you have like a development department, and they're churning out proprietary software and changes, then you have major change requests come through. And then if you have maybe 20 change requests for one thing, then we got to package it together now, and it's going to become like, it's a project. Now it's not just one little thing and a lot of major changes. Let's ball it together and let's just get this one thing done, push it through, get it out of the way. Like, there's a lot of decisions to make, a lot of things you got to do. It's always hopping, it's always pumping, it never stops. You're always in the heat. So that's, I mean, that's a like a so even if you're not in that environment, maybe it's something else. Maybe you're in the finance department and you have to make major financial decisions, or you need to get the books balanced because there's an audit coming and stuff like that. It's just overwhelming. It's incredibly overwhelming. Now, if you love what you do and you want to continue to do what you do, then you got to find a way to cope. You got to find a way of dealing with and survive in that environment and thrive in that environment without losing your stuff, without feeling like you're going to regurgitate on your boss's shoe or on his desk. You got to figure out a way where you can balance things out and have a peace of mind. And yes, you can. If that's what you want to do, you can. You can find a way to survive in the concrete jungle. You can find a way to find peace in the concrete jungle. But you have to be mindful of it. And you heard the word mindful. Mindfulness. You got to be mindful about doing that. It's not going to happen on its own. In fact, it's going to keep getting harder and more, and it's going to become more of a challenge as time goes along. It's not going to iron itself out. It's not just going to fall into place. No, you got to put things in place to make that happen for yourself. You got to make some decisions, change some things in your life. You got to transform your life and and organize yourself in such a way that you can survive the concrete jungle. And some of you are going to decide, I don't want this. This was not my dream come true. Like me, you're going to look at yourself and say, I do like project management. I do like IT. I don't like working for corporate. I don't like being in this environment. This is not the environment for me. And even though I like IT, I don't love it. I just like it. There are things that I love more. Maybe I can incorporate IT into something else. Maybe I could steer my my fondness for IT and my knowledge and skills in another direction. You know, I could shift. It's okay to shift a little. Some people will not shift. They need to just get out. They need to completely relocalize everything. But some people, it's just a shift. Maybe that's your decision to make. That's the decision you have to make. That's the decision that you did make. For every person, it's going to be different. I shifted and I shifted until I relocated. That's what happened to me. And then sometimes you got to shift back because the time isn't right. So you got to shift back a little bit. That's okay. But you got to maintain your balance, maintain your equilibrium, and find your peace of mind in the middle of all that. Because this is life. This is what life is, and this is what it is to survive. If you look at the real jungle, you see that. When animals adapt quickly, they survive. When they don't, they die off. So you need to be able to adapt to your situation. You need to turn your survival instincts on and learn very quickly how to maintain yourself in whatever environment you're in. If a pride of lions move from one part of the savannah to another, they got to learn their environment. They got to scope out what food is out there, and they got to start organizing themselves to hunt in a new environment. And they do organize themselves. They do organize themselves. There is a hierarchy, and there are leaders, and they do put together they do have meetings, and they call out the people that's supposed to be hunting, and they organize themselves, and they strategize on how they're going um to perform their task, which is to get food for the pride, right? And they go out and they get it done. And that's the same way. You got to strategize. You got to plan. You got to strategize, and you got to figure out your environment very quickly. You got to adapt quickly. That's just how it is. And if you don't, you will die out. Literally, you will have a massive heart attack. You will have a stroke. You will pass out and then find out that you have a brain aneurysm when you get to the hospital. Like, your body will shut down on you. You will put on too much weight, and it will clog your arteries. And you'll pick up some kind of a drinking habit or drug habit. You will find some kind of unhealthy way to compensate for the pain that you're feeling on the inside, to shut down that pain. Maybe you'll be taking pain medications, or and get hooked on that. Like, there's a breaking point. There's only so much a human being can take before they crack, and those cracks in your armor will begin to expose you to long-term illness or suicide in the worst case scenario, chronic illness, or you'll have a nervous breakdown or some kind of mental break. Like, you will wreck yourself against the rocks of life. You will get smashed and obliterated by life if you don't learn how to survive, if you don't learn how to maintain yourself, maintain your decorum, and make it through life with dignity. That's just how it is. So, if you can identify with what I'm saying, I want you to write, I hear you. I hear you. Okay. But I don't only want you to hear me, I want you to talk to me. Tell me about it. Tell me if what I'm saying resonates. Have you gone through something like this already? Okay. Um, Tell me if you're feeling like you must feel some level of stress, and tell me what that's like and what your situation is. Like, walk me through your day. Tell me what you're concerned about. What has it done to you? Has it caused you to not eat right, to have a stomach ulcer, or some kind of chronic illness? Like, is your lifestyle killing you, or maybe it's just as subtle as not having enough energy? Like, you notice your energy levels are not where they should be. Are you not sleeping at night? Like, what is going on with you? What's happening in your world? Let's have a conversation. It's a two-way thing. Okay, just let me know what's going on with you. And maybe I can address some of this in a future post, or I can answer your questions directly, or whatever, you know. But talk to me and let me know what's going on in your concrete jungle. Okay, well, I think that is just about enough for today. I think I'm going to see you guys next week at 2 o'clock. I'm coming with some new stuff. Maybe if you once I read the comments, um, I might even cover some stuff next week that you put into the comments. So that would be really great. Okay, so I see you guys next week. I'm looking forward to it. Same time, 2 o'clock Saturday. Bye, everybody.